Hey guys, Mr. Mewman back here again today, and today I have our latest complete master set for you. So this is the newly released Evolving Skies, and just a couple things about the set before I get into it. This set has 369 cards, and I'm also going to add in 3 exclusives, making it a total of 372. Out of those 369 cards, I am including the 237 original cards and the 132 Reverse Holos. So a couple things about what I'm using here. I'm using the Ultimate Guard Quadrow Zipfolio. The sleeves I will be using will be Dragon Shields for the Ultra Rares and higher, and KMC Perfect Fits for the Commons, Uncommons, Rares, Holos, and Reverse Holos. And the last thing I'm using, you guys can see here, is this nice Eevee Playmat. We've actually had this for a couple of years, and we got it from the Pokemon Center maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But I do believe it's either out of stock or discontinued. But that's what we've been using for Evolving Skies. So with that being said, I'd like to get into this latest master set. So as you can see here, I do like to list the reverse holos next to the holos. That way you just kind of can see them all in the binder. That's why I do like these quadros instead of putting it on top of just a normal rare or whatever it is. So starting here, we have Pinsir and Hoppip, Skiploom and Jumpluff, Seedot and Tropius. We have our first V and Leafeon V and Leafeon VMAX, Petalil and Lilligant, Dweeble, Crustle, Trevenant V and Trevenant VMAX, Gossifleur, and Eldegoss is our first exclusive here. So, of course, as I mentioned, there are 3 in this set, and it is really important adding these 3 in because it makes the binder lined up perfectly, as you will see when we get to the last few pages. So this is the non-holo exclusive that does come in the build and battle kits. Normally, as you can see here, you can get the holo and the reverse holo. So that is where the Eldegoss comes from. You have Applin, and then we have a Flareon VMAX. As you notice, the Flareon V was removed from this set and made into a tin as a promo. That's something I don't really like as much when they take cards from the set and remove them to make them into promos, especially when they leave just the normal VMAX in. But either way, that's what they did, and that's okay because it's still available to get. So from there, we move on to Entei and Victini. Volcarona V, Litleo, and Pyroar finish out the fire Pokemon. Moving on to Psyduck, Golduck, Tentacool, and Tentacruel. We move on to Gyarados V and VMAX, and as you can see, they did the same thing with Vaporeon. They removed the normal V, and they left the VMAX in this set. Suicune V, Lotad and Lombre, Ludicolo, Carvana, Sharpedo and Feebas, Milotic, Luvdisc, Glaceon V and VMAX, Timepole and Cryogonal, Bergmite, Avalugg, Wishy-Washy, and Ice-Cube. Arctivish V to finish out that page. Moving on to the lightning Pokemon, we have Pikachu, Raichu, and of course they also left out, or they removed the Jolteon V, but left the VMAX. So Chinchou, Lantern, Mareep, Flaffy with that very good Dynamotor ability that does work with the new Rayquaza VMAX, Ampharos, Emolga, Dracozolt V and VMAX. Our second exclusive is Regieleki, which is a non-holo that also comes from a build and battle kit. As you can see, there's the non-holo, the holo, and the reverse. And of course, they can add more exclusives later. There has been sets where they've added an exclusive a year or 2 after the set has been released. So it is always possible that they can add, whether it be a holo or a non-holo exclusive, at some time during, as long as they're printing some of those cards. So moving on to the psychic Pokemon, we have Drowsy, Hypno and Glario Articuno, Espeon V and VMAX, my favorite of the Eeveelutions, Wobbuffet, Sableye, Woobat, Swoobat, Golurk and Flabebe, Floette and Florges, Sylveon V and VMAX, of course, as a psychic type now that Fairy has been removed from the TCG, Pumpkaboo, Gourgeist, Cutiefly, Rabombi, and Marshadow finish out the psychic Pokemon. We have Hitmonchan, Galarian Zapdos, Metacham V, Hippopotas and Hippowdon, Roggenrola, Boldore, and Gigalith. And then Palpitoad and Seismitoad finish out the fighting, well, besides Lycanroc V and VMAX. Moving on to the dark, we have Galarian Moltres, Umbreon, and Umbreon VMAX with that dark signal ability, very similar to the old Lycanroc GX. Moving on to Nuzleaf and Shiftry, Scraggy and Scrafty, Garbodor V and VMAX, Zorua, and now we get to our third of the exclusives that I've added in here, the non-holo Zoroark. So of course the set has a holo normally, and you get the non-holo from the build and battle kits as well. So one thing I did like about when they used to make theme decks is I did like the ability to get another exclusive, whether that be the Shattered Holo or some other non-holos. But right now the only way, or the most common way to get it, is these build and battle kits. So there is the Reverse Holo. Moving on to Nickit and Thievul finish out your Dark Pokemon. And now, as you can see, we do have the return of Dragon Pokemon here. So we start out with Altaria, Bagon and Shelgon, Salamence, Rayquaza V and VMAX, Dialga, Dino, Sphylis and Hydreigon, and Kyurem. One thing you may notice here is there is no normal Dragonite V in this set. That one was also removed and is being made into a promo. So not only did they remove the Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon V, they also removed the Dragonite V. So quite a bit of cards removed from this set. Moving on to Noivern V, Zygarde, Drampa, and Flapple. And then Appleton, we have our Dragon-type Duraludon and Duraludon VMAX. And we finish out with Regidrago, actually one of my favorite cards from the set. Moving on to the colorless Pokemon, we have Eevee with the nice Rayquaza in the background, Teddiursa and Ursaring, Smeargle and Slackoth. We have Vigoroth and Slacking, Swablu and Lillipup, Herdier, Stoutland, Rufflet, Braviary, and to finish us out, we have Fletchling, Fletchinder, and Talonflame as our last Pokemon of the set. We now move on to the supporters, starting with Aroma Lady. We have Boost Shake, Copycat, Crystal Cave, Digging Gloves, Dream Ball, Elemental Badge, Full Face Guard, Gordy, Lucky Ice Pop, Moon and Sun Badge, Raihan, and the Rapid Strike Scroll of the Flying Dragon. That is a mouthful to say. Moving on to Rescue Carrier, Ribbon Badge, Rubber Gloves, Shopping Center, the Single Strike Scroll of the Fang Dragon, Snow Leaf Badge, Spirit Mask, Stormy Mountains, Switching Cups, Toy Catcher, and our last cards, Zinnia's Resolve and Treasure Energy. So as you can see, including those three exclusives, basically lines it up so where Treasure Energy is your last card on this page before we get into all the full arts and the secret rares. So right before I turn the page here, there are 38 full arts in this set and 34 secret rares. So 72 cards coming up here. And that is actually 2 less than what we had in Chilling Reign. So Chilling Reign had 39 full arts and 35 instead of the 38 and 34. So now we get on to what I think is probably my favorite page of the binder here. As you can see, all these Eeveelutions here, all the full arts, all the alternate arts, and I will hold the binder up close so we can get a closer look of what we have here. So the first one, Leafeon V and the alternate art Leafeon V. Trevenant V, and of course I said the normal Flareon was removed, but they left the full art Flareon in this set. But they did, as you can see, they removed the alternate art Flareon. So we move on to Volcarona, Gyarados, Vaporeon, so the same thing, they removed the alternate art Vaporeon. Suicune, and Suicune, I'm actually really surprised that this one did not get an alternate art. With as popular as Suicune is, you would have thought that they would have made an alternate art of it. Moving on to Glaceon V and the alternate art Glaceon V. Arctovish and Jolteon, same thing, they left out the alternate art Jolteon. Move on to Dracozolt V. Espeon V, this is my favorite card in the set, the alternate art Espeon V. Golurk V. Golurk V alternate art, Sylveon V, and the alternate art Sylveon V, Medicham V, alternate art Medicham V, Lycanroc, Umbreon, and the very popular Umbreon V alternate art. So I will set this back down, and I will then flip onto the next page. All right. So as you can see, there's a lot going on here as well, starting with Garbodor V and Dragonite V. So I did mention that the normal Dragonite was removed, but you can see there is the normal full art and the alternate art there with a bunch of Fearow and Spearow in the background. Moving on to Rayquaza V and the alternate art Rayquaza with Zinnia there. Noivern V and the alternate art Noivern. Duraludon V and the alternate art Duraludon V. One thing I did like about this set is that there are actually only 5 full art trainers. So Aroma Lady, Copycat, Gordy, Raihan, and Zinnia's Resolve. There are maybe 13 or so in Chilling Reign, so a lot less in this set. Now getting on to the secret rares, Leafeon V Rainbow and the alternate art Leafeon VMAX. So that is probably my favorite of the alternate art VMAXs with Leafeon VMAX. Moving on to Trevenant VMAX, Gyarados VMAX, and Glaceon VMAX, all in Rainbow. Alternate art Glaceon VMAX. Dracozolt VMAX and Sylveon, both in Rainbow. The alternate art Sylveon VMAX, and to finish this page up, Lycanroc VMAX. So I'll set that down just so you can see how they all look there before I flip to the next page. And now these are our last 2 pages, and before I get into it, you can see how the very last card lines up perfectly with the very last spot here on this page. So we will get into the Rainbow Umbreon and the very nice alternate art Umbreon VMAX. The Rainbow Garbodor and the Rainbow Rayquaza VMAX. And the very popular Rayquaza VMAX alternate art, which is a great artwork on that one. Rainbow Duraludon and the alternate art Duraludon VMAX. We have 5 Rainbow Trainers, Aroma Lady, Copycat, Gordy, Raihan, and Zinnia's Resolve. Our gold shiny Pokemon in this set, Frostlass, Inteleon, and Cresselia. Our gold items, Boost Shake. We have the Crystal Cave Stadium, Full Face Guard, Stormy Mountains Stadium, Toy Catcher, and Turffield Stadium. I know we have 3 energies here. We have the Lightning, Dark, and to finish out the complete set, Metal. So that is the complete set. I did mention a few cards that were removed, and we normally do not keep promos in our binder. We keep it in a separate promo binder, but I did include these pre-release promos in here just for now, and these were the Vs that were removed from the set. So Flareon V, Vaporeon V, and Jolteon V. I just kind of threw them there in the back just so I can show what those were, but normally we do keep those in the promo binder. So as you can see here, adding in those 3 exclusives made the set line up perfectly on these last 6 pages here, and I think out of all of them, this is probably my favorite. All 8 different Eeveelutions on this, as well as a lot of different alternate arts. So that does it for this complete master set. Our next one coming up will be Celebrations, and then I believe right after that is Fusion Strike, which I'm very excited for with the release of Mew V and Mew VMAX. So I want to thank all those that have joined, whether this is your first time follow along with our master set series, or if you are returning. So I want to thank everyone. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you next time.